I hope you can hear me okay. I'm outside. It's sunny and I wanted to make this delicious sun tea recipe with you. So hopefully you can hear me. So let's get started. We have a variety of different tea recipes on our website, naturalfertilityinfo.com, and I love tea. Tea is one of my most favorite things in the whole wide world. I feel like I'm getting oodles of nutrients and I'm doing something really calming and good for myself. It's relaxing. I drink tea before I go to bed some nights. There's just multiple uses for tea and it makes me super happy. So I want to share that joy of tea with you and show you how I create a sun tea recipe. This is a cold, slow brewed infusion. It allows the herbs, these really nutritive herbs that support the nervous system, the liver, digestion, all to soak in sun for a while, from a few hours to several hours, 3 hours at minimum, 2 all day if you want to. I'm going to make a quart jar of tea right now today with us, but the original recipe is for a gallon of tea. So if you want to do more, you're welcome to go to our website or want to make more. You're welcome to go to our website, naturalfertilityinfo.com, and look up the recipe for, what's the name? It's Mood Mending Smoothies and Teas. It's an article, and within that there is a fantastic a version of this sun tea. So anyway, we've got a couple different versions, mine and then that of my colleague Dandelion Barton. So if you want to make a gallon, you can go check out her recipe or just make a bigger amount of this one that I'm going to share with you. So the herbs that I've chosen today are nettle. This is dried nettle. If you purchase dried nettle, it's going to be smaller pieces, probably. I actually harvested this the other day from a local organic farm that can't say they're USDA organic, but they only use organic practices. And I went there to buy snap peas, and the woman who runs the farm had nettles growing, and I looked at her and said, "May I please have those nettles? I'll buy them from you." And she let me cut several. So I've let these dry for just a couple of days. But these are nettle leaves, and I'm going to put those right in my jar. I've got a jar of just filtered spring water. Anything other than tap water really is fine. So I'm just going to crumple those in. That's about 1 teaspoon of nettle leaf. You'll want 3 teaspoons total of herb for a quart of water. You don't have to measure exactly. This can be really rough. But so I've just crumpled my nettle leaf right in there for me. Nettles are high in iron. We know that iron is a very necessary nutrient for multiple reasons, but mostly because as menstruating women, we lose blood and therefore we lose some iron and need to restore that blood and rebuild those iron levels, and nettle is one way to do that. The diet is an incredibly easy way to do that. What else about nettle? Nettle is really high in a lot of different vitamins and minerals, but essentially we know it mostly for that iron content, and it is considered a dark green leafy vegetable. You've heard that before if you've heard anything about the fertility diet. And I add next lemon slices. I've got 3 slices of fresh lemon that I'm just going to drop right in on top of the nettle. The vitamin C from the lemons will help the body absorb the iron from the nettles much better. And of course it gives it a yummy lemony flavor, and sun tea with lemon is delicious, right? But there's also a lot of vitamins in lemons. Certainly lots of nutrients in lemons as well. And if you use the rind, there's a little bitter component which helps initiate or boost digestion, which is important. Next I'm going to add dandelion leaf. These have super wilted. I picked them from my front yard this morning when I decided to do this tea recipe. These are the young, very, very young dandelion leaves that have a not so serrated edge, so they're not going to be super bitter. But I have about a teaspoon of fresh dandelion leaves that have just wilted that I'm going to tear up and drop right in on top of the nettle and the lemon. Dandelion leaf supports liver health. It's a very gentle, nutritive leaf herb for liver health. This is something that you could continue to use to support your healthy liver function beyond cleansing, if you've heard of cleansing or done cleansing. And dandelion leaf is super safe for supporting liver health throughout your fertility journey. Something to consider. All right, I got to get the last few out of the dish. So now we've got nettle, lemon, and dandelion leaf floating in water. And then I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of Oatstraw. Oatstraw is from the milky oat plant. You're not going to be able to see my Oatstraw very well, I don't think, in this sunshine. This I purchased from a company, and it's just ground up oats, milky oats and oat stems and leaves. The Oatstraw is the nervine. It's very highly beneficial for the nervous system. It's also a very nutritive herb, which means it's got nutrients that your body can use. It's incredibly gentle and supportive over time. You may have heard of milky oat seed. Those tend to be faster acting in terms of their nervine action, but Oatstraw works in the same way and is a tad more gentle. Not necessarily true. Milky oats are gentle too. That said, I don't have milky oats on hand. It's important to have them fresh because you need to have that fresh milky substance within them to benefit you, or to have that tinctured, and I don't have them. So I'm going to use about a half a teaspoon of oat straw in my sun tea. Just going to eyeball half a teaspoon and put that in there. And then lastly, for some flavor, and because I love mint, I'm going to add a little peppermint. These mint leaves used to be fairly big. They're teeny weeny dried ones now. They came from my neighbor down the street who has an incredibly huge, beautiful garden and grew some mint and asked me if I wanted it. And at the time I thought of making a mojito would be great, but I didn't do that. I dried all the mint leaves and I'm going to use them in tea now. So I'm just going to rub them between my fingers to break them up a little bit. They're dry, about a half a teaspoon of mint. Oh, yummy. And put that right on top of my other herbs in my sun tea. Mint is a digestive. It's fantastic for helping boost digestion. So I'm going to go through my recipe just a little bit, or again for you, because I know I sometimes ramble. This is 1 teaspoon of nettle leaf, 1 teaspoon of dandelion leaf. You can use fresh or dried. Know that nettles fresh will sting you if you're into picking them, but you can purchase them dried. Half a teaspoon of Oatstraw and half a teaspoon of peppermint, and 3 slices of fresh lemon. This is all it is. And now I'm going to let this sit and infuse in the sun for about 3 hours. Hopefully it'll be ready for me by after dinner. I think this would be a beautiful after dinner tea. Just cap the jar and let it sit in the sun. Do you hear that buzzing, you guys? That's a cicada. Do you know what cicadas are? Does anyone else have them where they live? It's really loud and they're just coming out now as we've hit early summer. Anyhow, again, this is 1 quart of tea. If you want to make more, you certainly can. In general, it's about a teaspoon roughly of herb per 8 ounces of water. Again, you don't have to be super particular about it. You can also use all of these herbs in tea bags if you wanted. Typically, I put 3 to 4 tea bags in about a quart of water if I don't have the loose herbs and I want sun tea. So you can do that as well. Don't feel like you can't do this. This also would be a fantastic tea herbal blend to use at any time. If you wanted hot tea, you could use this as hot tea as well. There's no reason why not to. None of these herbs would be harmed if you wanted it to be a hot tea if you know it's cold where you are, or if you prefer hot tea or don't have time to make sun tea. Yeah, definitely. So we know that digestion and liver health and all the nutrients from the plants and the foods that we consume are really important for our fertility health, and one fairly easy way to get those nutrients, or some of those nutrients anyway, is through herbal tea. And this is a tea you could do all the time. You know, I don't know that there are any different benefits from making this tea in the sun than if you would combine them and pour boiling water over them. Other than that, the sun is a catalyst. The sun helps heat up the water, and then that helps draw the nutrients and the energy from the plants out into the water, and that would be the benefit. If you didn't put it in the sun and just left it in your house in a dark, dry place, it still would infuse some, just maybe not to the degree that it will with the help of the sun. It's either a spider or a fly flying on me. That's really the best, easiest explanation I have for the benefit of letting it steep in the sunshine. There's something happy about tea soaking in the sun too, right? There's an energetic component that I think, there's a really loud vehicle driving by, an energy component that I think is really cool and exciting. And For me, where I live, and I deal with winter and very cold and lots of gray for a long time, I just take this time to connect with my plants and enjoy the sun a lot, whether it's just me being in it or me making herbal tea or going swimming or for walks or wild harvesting. I like to be out in the sun a lot because I live where there's a lot of gray winter. So there's that piece of it too, which is, of course, energetic and emotional for me. I know that a lot of people just aren't so familiar with making fresh tea, and this is a really, really nutritious, easy, safe one for most anyone to use on their fertility journey. These herbs don't have a lot of contraindications unless, of course, you have an allergy to one of them, and mostly because they taste great too. So often people who come to us are very new to herbal medicine and the taste of things, and so this one is a really good way to introduce yourself to tea if you're not sure it's your thing, or herbs if you're not sure about them. I also do like a little swirl or drizzle of honey in this tea. If you wanted to do that to sweeten it up, you certainly could as well. So anyway, enjoy your sunny day if it's sunny where you are, or making simple fertility sun tea or any other tea that you end up trying. And if you see this post in the future on our different platforms, do comment on what you tried and the recipe that you used and if you liked it, and let other people know so that we can keep introducing people to herbs and herbal medicine and tea. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.